Hi guys, welcome back to Girl Therapy. I'm your host Nicole and I'm here with Brandon.
How's it going, everybody?
You guys submitted some questions on Instagram just about life, relationships, everything. It's a mixed bag, so we're just gonna kind of go through that and just give our unsolicited advice. Brandon always gives really great advice.
Now I'm on the spot.
No. It's like the worst
it
advice
better be great.
ever. I feel like we need to address the most asked question.
What's the question, Nicole?
You know what the question is.
I do?
Just answer.
We're not
Just
dating.
tell me.
We're not dating. I don't
No.
think if we ever dated and broke up, we would be sitting here. She's basically family at this point. You know, we call my parents drunk in the Uber home from Disney. Like, I appreciate the support. I think it's hilarious
Yeah,
that
of course he
everybody's
likes
like,
it.
we're never gonna find anyone if you keep if you guys keep putting things on TikTok that we're trying to find our own.
Yeah. Moment of silence for Brandon in the friend zone.
Oh yeah, someone said morning prayer for Brandon in the friend zone.
So let's all
happens
just
more than you
gather.
think, everybody. We're actually doing a moment of silence. I was like,
That was necessary. Okay. Do you think couples who have been together for years should have a hall pass?
what's up? Oh my God. Okay, not that I don't like that question.
Yeah.
I don't think that should be a general thing. I think everyone's relationship is so
It's different.
Like, there are like couples that like get off by like watching
Right.
their partner
into
like
different things.
bang other people, right?
Mhm.
So like if that's what gets your relationship going, like obviously like religion plays but if we're having this conversation,
Yeah.
you're not that
Yeah.
so do it.
Yeah.
Who are we to say like whether or not couples should have a hall pass? Or like I
Oh.
think like if that's what makes you happy, do it.
Well, I guess if you were in a relationship,
Oh, I could never.
would you?
Oh, personally,
There
no.
we go.
Oh no.
Are you a jealous person?
What?
I guess that's like beyond jealousy, but it's like, do you just like?
No. I mean, like, do
I
you
don't
know me?
No, I've never. No.
We've never dated.
I've never seen you in a relationship. You've never seen me in a relationship. I don't know how.
Yeah,
you would
no,
act.
I would not. There's no way.
A celebrity hall pass.
That's such a dumb. Like, that would never. Okay, sure.
Right.
It
What
would
if she was like Ashton? I don't know why he just came into my brain. What if he was like Ashton?
Let's unpack
Kutcher?
that.
That's kind of like a fun game, though. It's like, sure, if you ever run into like that person, go for it. Because
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's never gonna happen. I don't think the question was when you've
Yeah.
been in a relationship for long enough, should
Yeah,
you get a
should
hall
you get a hall
pass?
pass?
Which
Yeah.
kind of infers like either boredom in like sexual
Right.
boredom with your current partner because it's too long.
Kind of seems like a gateway drug.
Yeah, no,
It's
like
ooh,
yeah.
like that.
Gateway drug of dick.
Exactly.
That's not
Yeah.
for me.
I think that's not for me either. No.
Stamp, not for me.
Not for us. How do I know when it's the right time to define the relationship? This
That's
is
a
always
really
like
good
the
question.
top question is like, how do you know when it's time to be like, have the conversation, be like, so what's going on?
I think it's time when you think it's time.
Right.
Not like how do you know? Because when you say how do you know it's time, you're talking about how you're going to be perceived by the other person.
Mm-hmm.
If you're asking the question, it's time.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm asking the question like a second link. I'm like, so what are we?
No, that's what I mean. Not that like we're getting old,
Mm-hmm.
right? But we're not just, it's not college where we're just dating to hook
Right,
up or
right.
to like, oh, our friends are dating, so we're all in the same group. Like we might as well. If, marriage is your goal at some point or like a life partner is your goal at some point,
Mm-hmm.
you shouldn't be wasting your own time
Right.
or theirs.
Yeah.
So if you've been, I'm not talking like you've been on a few dates. What are we? Because you don't want to sound clingy or crazy or what? Can I
Yeah.
say crazy?
Yeah. Can I say crazy?
I don't know. Like,
Talking to a crazy girl. Don't trigger me.
I think it's always fair to just be as upfront as possible.
Yeah.
It'll save you a lot of like heartache or like
Mhm.
issues in the future.
Mhm.
And the longer you wait, like,
I think the longer you wait, the more awkward it gets a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like this like anger towards that person of being like, oh, like I just wasted so much time on you, like, and you're not even telling me like what's going on. I think it's time to like be like, what are we when you feel like you're plateauing? Because like obviously you go on a date,
Yeah.
and then there's a natural progression. Okay, we go on more dates, we're hanging out more, we're spending more time together, and then when it comes to a point where it's like nothing's changing and you're not feeling like you're like working towards anything, it's like, okay, so what are we doing?
Yeah,
Did
exactly.
you just want to have someone to hang out
And that doesn't
with.
mean like week 3, week 2.
No.
Like it could be 5 months from now.
Right. You have to just know what you want and be so secure in that and be like, you're not being needy because you want a relationship. If that's what you want, that's what you want.
That's what you want.
And if they're like, oh, like, you know, whatever, it's like,
then they are not what you want.
They are not what you want.
Yeah.
In a relationship for over a year now, but I'm still thinking about my ex. Been together for over 6 years. I don't think about him romantically or anything. I just wonder what he's up to. How do I stop thinking about him? He did me really dirty after the breakup.
Why do you have to stop thinking about him? I'm asking like she's going to respond right now.
I guess she just doesn't. She's like, why am I still thinking about my ex who I broke up with so long ago? But
Did she
been together?
Did she say that they were together for 6 years?
Yeah.
That's why.
Right. She's only been in this relationship for a year.
I still think about like my 3rd grade teacher sometime because like they had an impact on my life. You know what I mean? Like someone was in your life for 6 years and it sounds like it was traumatic. Like it wasn't a positive. Of course you're going to think about them.
Right.
And you yourself said it's not sexually, it's not a bad thing. And I mean, if you're secure in your current relationship, that's the thing. If the past is keeping you from either what you're doing now or where you're trying to go, that's an issue.
Yeah.
If you're saying that you're in a secure relationship now with this new person for, did she say a year?
Yeah. Yeah. Then
You're doing golden.
Yeah, I agree. I'm like, damn, 2?
Yeah.
How'd you do that? It's just natural for our brains to just wonder. Like, oh my God, yesterday I literally checked up what my ex was doing. We don't even follow each other, but like his like sister, like I follow her still, like posted something and I'm like, oh, like he's there. And I'm like, clicked his profile to see if I could see it. I'm just curious because I was with that person for almost 4. I was there.
Yeah, I don't think.
But
I mean,
not,
I wish that person was here because I have some follow-up questions.
See,
the way it's written,
it's okay.
You're fine.
Yeah, you're fine. I think don't put too much weight on it. Don't be like, what does this mean? It's like it means nothing.
Yeah.
It's like it means nothing. Ooh, he's adding his girl coworker on every single platform. It bothers me. Yeah.
Tell him. Tell him.
Tell him.
Yeah.
That's weird.
100%.
That's so
it might
weird.
not be weird. I mean, let's talk about.
No, it is weird.
Why?
I'm sorry, but if my boyfriend was adding his coworker on you don't need to have your coworker on Snapchat.
What if they're buddies?
No.
How many people ask, like, you know, or say like, oh, it's so cool that you and Brandon are friends. Like, let's normalize guy friendships, or like girl friendships. You know.
You're not my coworker. We're friends. We've never like.
But like, they can be friends.
I think that's such a guy's perspective. Because, like, as a girl, it's like guys don't want just girlfriends in their life, really.
You got to talk about it, is basically notice that you followed this girl that I know you work with.
Yeah.
Should I be worried about that? Don't be like, well, what are you doing with that? Are you hooking up with? It can't be accusatory. I'm not accusing him of what you think might be going on, but like, hey, how should I be interpreting this?
Yeah, especially if it bothers you. You don't want to not say something and like eat away at you, and then like you're yelling at them for like leaving a towel on the floor, and it's not about the towel; it's about the girl that the coworker.
Yes,
so it's like
that's the thing. Like, communication is key, but like it seriously is because it's gonna cause issues. For other stupid shit that doesn't matter. Yeah, and then you lose credibility. Right. When your significant other's like, well, why'd you just freak out at me for this? It's just a towel.
And then the coworker doesn't yell at me for the towels. I think like you address it, and then after that, then you see how he responds. A normal person's response would be like, oh, let me just like unadd her or like not, whatever, because there's nothing going on.
If I, I have a lot of girlfriends, right? That, and at my old job, it was mostly females in that office, right? Yeah. If my girlfriend came up to me and said, hey, what's going, the first thing I would say is, oh my God, like if that bothers you, let me unfollow her. It's not a big deal. I can keep my, relationship with this girl at the office. I think the way he responds to you is going to be very telling of what the situation is. Right. Defensive, backup, okay, red flag, alert. Yes. But you got to also be careful on how you ask the question, because if you give him a reason to be defensive where you're like, aggressive or what are you doing? Just go into it as like let's solve this problem together.
How aren't you shy? I guess this is to me about going on dates. I get anxious, nervous. I don't know what to talk about. Okay, so I guess just dating in general. I feel like I'm bringing me to the table, like I am who I am. I don't get anxious or nervous because I just don't go in being like, oh, is this person, gonna like me? I'm like, am I gonna like this person?
I was literally gonna say that.
Yeah.
I don't think you gotta like phrase it like oh, I'm confident, whatever, because some people don't have that kind of self-confidence. But what you can do is acknowledge the fact that if you're going on the date in the first place, you're looking for something that's missing in your life, right? Like a significant other, happiness beyond what you bring to yourself, right? You should be interviewing them.
Yeah.
They have something to prove to you at this point.
You're meeting a new person. Could I be friends with this person? How about we start with that? Not even like, could I date this person? Could I marry this person? Could I be friends with this person?
Yeah.
And kind of be like, do we get along? And that's what it is, really. Like, that's what I go in. I'm like, let me just pretend like I'm going on a date with Brandon. But I'm not. I'm with, like, Jack.
Who's Jack?
And you have to approach it with a different mindset. Not like, oh my God, I'm on a first date. I've never met this person. I'm so nervous. Are they going to like me? It's more so like, can I hang out with this person? Could they even be a friend? And will I like them?
Yeah.
And that's it.
It ain't that serious.
It's not that
you know
serious.
What I mean?
If you're shy and you're like nervous, to like a dinner can be really hard to like maintain eye contact with somebody. Like
coffee,
go for coffee or a walk
or a drink at night, like,
or go to a more casual like lounge where you can sit. Like I went on this one date once where we were just sitting on like a couch and it was like a cute little cocktail bar and it wasn't like a dinner table
like
and we could like
formal...
lean and feel comfortable. Like it was just more natural and not so stiff.
My worst first dates are at like a two-top table where you're crying. It feels like you're interviewing because like you don't know this person, so you can't be talking like we're talking. Yeah, it's like, oh, you know, where are you from?
Right.
What do you like?
That.
Yeah.
Also, just don't be afraid of like a little awkward silence. I think they're okay. You don't have to fill every space. Can I sit with this person in silence? Yeah. Like
that's telling too.
That's telling too. How to deal with friends who are sloppy and embarrassing every time they drink.
Let me tell you something about Nicole. No, honestly, this might sound toxic. If I see a friend get sloppy or embarrassing like more than twice, I kind of just cut them off. Yeah. As like a social like out drinking kind of friend. Right. You know, if like we've been best friends for a really long time and you know maybe they have like an unhealthy relationship with alcohol at this point in their life and it's just becoming something that I don't want to deal with, then I don't go out with them anymore. Yeah. Lunch in the middle of the day, great. Go to the beach, play tennis, whatever. Yeah. And I think I don't think cutting off in that regard is necessarily a bad thing. No. This might be getting deep, but like your friend that's, you know, sloppy and embarrassing, maybe they have something else going on and they need that kind of kick in the pants and not quite yet like a, hey, what's your relationship with alcohol like? But they start seeing their friends don't want to go out with them anymore. Maybe that'll spark a change in them. Yeah. I had a friend who was like that, and it was really hard for me because it brought down the energy of the group, and like it took the fun out of it, and I don't like being drunk and worried about somebody else. So I just removed myself from the situation. Yeah. And that was it. Have you ever seen me sloppy or embarrassing? You could be honest.
No.
Okay, cool.
No. Nice. Not yet. I've definitely been sloppy and embarrassing.
I don't think so.
Really? I guess it depends the threshold of embarrassment.
I'm trying to. Like, I don't think you've
I've definitely been sloppy, but I'm never the type to like get sloshed like that, or like at a bar where I can't even walk, or you know.
College, sloppy and embarrassing constantly.
For sure.
But I don't think I've ever seen you like that.
Personality. This has a lot of parts. Ready? I haven't forgotten about my friend since she became a mom, but it feels as if she feels she forgot about me. I've continuously reached out to her to see her and her baby, but she doesn't ever ask about me or what's going on in my life. I feel like I lost her as a friend, but she still wants me there. How can I go about this? She's a first-time mom, and this is my first time having a friend with a baby. My brother lost his baby, and since then I've made even more efforts to see them, but it feels like I'm just here for her to vent to.
Wow. That's really sad. First of all, I'm really sorry for your brother.
Yeah, that's really sad. That's tough.
I can speak to this.
Okay, go ahead.
I have a lot of friends that
actually I don't really have friends
like have kids, and I think it's just important. Like you gotta check yourself too, right? She's not asking about you. Do you ask her about what it's like to be a mom? Like not just talking about like, oh, remember that time that we went to dinner? Yeah. Acknowledge the fact that this is like a new part of her life and make it a part of your relationship with her.
It's her first time doing this too.
Right. And but your relationship now should have something to do with the fact that she's a mom and like offer to babysit or something like that. I that phrasing was a little confusing, but I think what she's saying is she gets the feeling that her friend herself feels like she's being too distant from the question asker, and it's drawing a wedge between the French. Is that kind of how you read that too? Yeah. Which is really perceptive that like she picked up on that. Yeah. Right. And I think she probably does feel distant.
Yeah.
It is really tough to be a new parent,
Yeah.
especially a mom. You know, her life is completely changed, and I'm sure like the person who asked that knows that, but she's not going to have as much time for her friends anymore. So that's why when you guys do get together, it's like really important that you make the most of it, and you don't just make small talk. And I would always try to hang out with the baby.
Right.
There. Like not like, oh, like see if you can get a sitter, let's go to lunch. Like embrace that.
I think that's important, but also just like a little bit not devil's advocate, but a different perspective is maybe your friend also, like, it's her first time having a baby. Maybe she feels like a little alienated if she's the only one in like the friend group, where she's like, the first one to like have a kid and feel like, oh, like I have this different life. I can't relate to my friends anymore, or like I don't know who I am anymore without this baby. Maybe she wants to just go out with her girlfriend without like the kid and just like let loose and feel like a normal human again. Like, or just like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not just a mom, you're also like a person. Yeah. Like,
it doesn't have to define like
like it doesn't have to. So I think just at this point it's just communication and talking to your friend and just being like, hey, like, let me check in on you. How are you feeling? I noticed our friendships changed. Obviously you have a kid now.
Have you tried addressing, like, not in like a super serious like negative tone, but like, how are you finding being a mom? Like, how is this for you? Like, what do you miss? What do you like talk about that, and like and then kind of gauge how you move forward in your friendship based on that. If she says to you like, God, I wish I could just have a martini and dance. I'm so sick of I don't sleep. Like, do that for her. You know, call her husband or her significant other or her mom and say, hey, can you take the baby for you know, and I want to take friend out. You know,
unfortunately, as we get older, like the capacity for like our friendships kind of like lessens. Like, I think like you have new priorities, a kid, a husband, like all this other stuff, and you can't take it personal. So I think take advantage of the time that you have to hang out with her when you do. But also don't be like, oh, our friendships change. Like, obviously, you know, things change. Okay, can a guy still be the perfect guy if he bores you to death?
No. I don't
like, oh, he checked all the boxes, but he's so boring.
So the sex is good, is what she's saying.
I don't know. Like, bores you to death. It could be in bed too. Oh, I don't think so.
I think like, you asking the question just answered your question.
Yeah, I think that's so crazy. I think that's actually more important that he doesn't bore you to death over everything. Like, that's the first thing I'm making sure. I'm like, is this guy someone that I could talk to and spend hours and hours and hours with? I can't hold the team forever. Like, that's actually my biggest. I don't want to be the most entertaining person in the room. Like, I don't want to be the funny one.
She's literally a TikToker. She doesn't want to be the most entertaining TikToker. Just I know what you mean. Yeah.
I need someone who like challenges me and has banter with me and makes me funnier. I can't be the one with the zingers all the time.
We know where Nicole thinks she stands. You just think you're fucking hilarious.
How do you deal with self-sabotage? Look at that behavior, figure out why you're doing it, get down to the root of it, and then you just have to like correct it and fix it.
Let's give them a deeper.
There's been so many times where I self-sabotage. It's been like a pattern, and then it's like, Nicole, you're doing the same thing, expecting a different result.
That's what it is. Yeah.
It's like you need to hold the mirror up and just hold yourself accountable and be like have a sit-down conversation with yourself. The amount of times I've been like, are we for real?
Self-sabotage, I think the root of most self-sabotaging tendencies are not addressing the problem that you know you have. Like, say it to yourself, like this sounds crazy. Say it to yourself in the mirror. Like, literally say, like I get too drunk sometimes when I go out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I also think talking to somebody about it, if you have somebody too, and who can also hold you accountable. Like, call me out when I'm doing things. You
just have to be honest with yourself. Like the cure to self-sabotaging tendencies isn't, you know, just push through it and get it. Like, it's not, it's the first step is being honest with yourself and just saying, okay, this is my situation. This is what I'm doing. I don't need to know how to change it, but just address it first, and then it'll come later.
And naturally. Then if it's something like really, I mean, therapists will give you the tools.
Oh yeah, everyone should have a therapist. I say every year I'm gonna get a therapist, and I don't do it because we just hang out too much for each other's therapists.
No, literally.
No, but like most people I know have a therapist, and like it used to be so stigmatized, and it's so cool that we live in a world now where it's like it's almost weird if you don't have one.
It's also so convenient now. You could just like pop on your computer. You don't have to go into an office. Yeah, should we Skype one in? That'd be fun. Ooh, my boyfriend was texting a girl from work looking her up on Instagram and he lied about it. Is this cheating?
It's not cheating, but it's definitely not cool.
Soft cheating.
I don't think that's cheating.
You're crossing a boundary, I think.
I think it's lying, which is
yeah.
like lying is it's an offense in a relationship. I don't think there's any room for lies in a relationship. Cheating is pinnacle lie, you can tell, because you're keeping information from your significant other and you're also lying with your body. Like you're that's not cheating. I think it's definitely a lie, and I think you have every right to like make a scene about it, and talk to that person. And it could be, I mean, depending on how you value honesty in your relationship, that could be a breaking up a bull offense.
Yes.
A
deal breaker.
Yeah, that's the word.
No, that wouldn't fly with me, but I agree with what he said. So I want to get back into dating, but I don't like dating apps. What do you suggest, or what do you do? Do you use dating apps?
No.
Have you ever?
Yes.
Okay. Which ones?
Tinder, Hinge. I was on Raya for a bit. I just don't.
You had to flex the Raya.
Are you on Raya? I feel like we're lucky because we have such big friend groups that like you kind of meet people organically, especially living in a city like this where like
Miami, it's very social.
Yeah, more uncommon, I think, to like find someone on Hinge or like one of those dating apps in a city like this because everyone's out and looking for the same thing anyway.
But if you listen to my first episode that I did with Jordan and Chris, my roommate and her now boyfriend, they met on Hinge. So there are success stories. I mean, Brittany and her boyfriend were out last night.
Most of my friends who are married right now met on a dating app.
Yeah, it's so crazy. That's what we. But if you don't like dating apps, and listen, like I've tried them, I've decided they don't work for me. It's just not.
I love that we say that though, and like we're both single as fuck.
I'm not trying to force anything. I'm just gonna meet somebody naturally, and I think the best way to meet people is you have to leave your home. First of all, I think like some people are like, I'm not meeting people, and it's like, well, how are you putting yourself out there? And go to things like activities that you enjoy. Like if you like going to yoga, maybe talk to somebody in your yoga class. Like even just like, not for me, it's not wearing my headphones out because I'm always like in my bubble wearing my headphones. And I've made a point now when I go on walks, at least for like half my walk, to take my headphones off.
Do guys approach you on walks?
Not when I have my headphones on.
No,
when I do,
yeah. Really?
And yes. And like even at the gym, like I try to keep my headphones off when I'm stretching before and after. I know this sounds so crazy, but
that's when the headphones
it makes
come
you look
off.
so approachable more than you
sure.
just being in your bubble. Because I think like having that on.
Well, because how are you gonna like? What do you tap you on the shoulder?
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's so awkward. Like,
yeah.
Hi. So I think like you need to make yourself look approachable. So if that means going to a coffee shop and like sitting at a table where you're not facing a wall, facing outwards, not have a headphone on, and
look
just
approachable.
Smile.
And I think like I want to meet someone in a social setting. That doesn't necessarily mean a bar or a club.
No,
tennis. I like tennis. I really wish we had like a tennis club here. Where you'll find better luck, I feel, trying to find a significant other or just like a first date in a non-bar situation, because you already know, like if I found someone at tennis, I already know I have something in common with her because we both like tennis. Or like going on a run or at the gym, like you said, yoga,
Also, you just never know if a friend invites you out somewhere and you're kind of like, and you have that little gut instinct, like, should I go? Go. Like, go. Because there have been so many times where I met people on nights that, like, I didn't necessarily want to go, but I felt like I should, that I went and I met somebody great. And I'm like, I'm so happy I went. Even if it was not like a boyfriend, but it was like a friendship or something like that. You just never know. And then that friendship could lead to something. Like, you just
I never say no. I try not to say no to, like, anything.
Yeah, you really
I just don't.
You should start saying no.
Why?
You're the most social person I've ever met. I want to do so many things, like go on vacation, but I feel like I have no one to go with.
I think a solo trip is so baller.
Trip.
I can't do it. I can't even let you get ready without me like but that's a really cool thing to do. Like if you feel safe doing it and you don't think you'll bore yourself, like you will find, like if you're in a different city, like how many times have like we've been at Moxie's and just like ran into somebody and they're like, oh, I'm just visiting. Oh, you're here. Like strum up conversation. Like people love seeing people in their city alone because like they want a friend.
Yes. People always like I'm the biggest fan of traveling alone. I love it.
I didn't know you did that.
I literally just got back from Italy and did a month in Spain.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I have a bad memory.
Yeah, I think you at a certain point you just can't wait for people to make life happen for you or make life enjoyable for you. Like at the end of the day, you're living with yourself. Like you are your own best friend. So if you can't even enjoy your own company, and I know this is like an extreme to go on a vacation by yourself, but like you should be just like be like, yeah, I'm gonna go on this vacation by myself, lean in. That's not weird. I've never looked at a single person like sitting at a bar, sitting at a restaurant, on a walk alone, sitting somewhere alone, been like, that person's weird.
Yeah.
I've been like, if anything, I'm like really curious and I'm like, oh, they're cool.
I always feel weird about myself, but I do have to like think about like no one else cares. No one cares about me as much as I think everyone cares about me.
And you don't want to like look back, like you are responsible for your own life. So you don't want to look back later and be like, oh, I didn't do that trip because I was so scared to like spend time with myself.
You don't have to go to Rome for a week or 10 days. You could literally go for like a long weekend. It's not that, like if you're on the East Coast, it's just as far as going to LA. You spend less money on food, less money on a hotel. And then like if you're worried about being alone the first time, it's like you're not committing to like this week long of like solitude.
Yeah. The more you do it, the more comfortable you're going to get with it.
Yeah.
And you will meet people along the way. It's inevitable. Talk to your bartender, talk to your server. Like when I was traveling, I would stay at Airbnbs where there was a host there and like you just meet them and then you, whatever.
Talk more about that because that was a cool thing that you did.
But that I would.
When you stayed with that, it was a girl, right?
Yeah.
And like, didn't she like go out with you at some point? Or
no,
like,
I didn't go out. She was really cool. There's like specific Airbnb hosts where you'll see in the notes they'll be like, oh, they took us out and they cooked us dinner. Like, and it has to be something that you're comfortable with. Of course,
yeah.
It was like a guy, whatever. But yeah, you can stay at Airbnbs and they'll take you out if you want to do that. Like you
that's
can
such
lean
a cool.
into that.
That's such a cool.
Yeah,
option.
and I've stayed at hostels before too, where like they do all group things and you go out with the group and. Not saying you have to be friends with every single person in that group, but you find like the one or two people that you relate to, or if it just gets you to the club, like the confidence, like go with a group, and then you get in there or like whatever, and then you start talking to people. Like, I don't know. I think you just you should solo travel. I stand that, and you learn a lot about yourself when you do that too. Are you worried about dying alone with your cat by not prioritizing a relationship?
I feel like they came for you there. I don't think they're actually curious about your fears. I think that they're coming for you a little bit.
Don't like me. I actually think that I would die alone with my cat if I only prioritized finding a relationship. Like, contrary to that. Okay, left, came back, doesn't know what he wants, but misses me, wants to see where it goes. Help. For me, that sounds like he left, like, got bored, realized, like, maybe this isn't what it's cracked up to be, so I'm gonna go back to her while I like figure out what I want in the meantime, and if like she'll entertain me while I'm looking for something.
I found it interesting that we didn't get the writer's opinion at all in that.
What do you mean?
Like I don't know what she's thinking, or he. I don't know what it like.
Oh,
do you know what I mean? Like it's all about this other person's.
She just goes help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want?
Right. Yeah, that's such a good.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why is this about this kid's decision? Like,
right.
Doesn't know what he wants. Okay, do you know what you want? Is it him? Mm-hmm. If the answer is yes, if you know you want him and you're just so happy that he came back, have a conversation with him. Talk about what he wants. If it's within your power
to know what he wants.
Well, you can figure that out by talking more. Like
Yeah, I hate this question because it's like you're allowed.
You hate it because it's hard, not because it's a bad question. It's a good question.
No, it's a good question. I hate it because it's like you said, it's all about him. Yeah. It feels like. And I also think that people need to realize that you can miss somebody or something. It doesn't mean it's right and it doesn't mean it's made for you. Like the amount of people that I've like left or like had to like stop contact with that like I still miss.
Yeah.
But know that that's not a reason to go back to them. Like I think there's a level of immaturity here from on his side where it's like he misses you. It's like, yeah, of course. Yeah. But that doesn't mean like you need to drag that person back into your confusion of what you want. Like he should be figuring out I would say go away.
Figure out what you want and then come back.
Come back to me with
ready.
A real offer.
Yeah.
Come back to me with something. No, for real. Like
a real estate agent.
Bring me back an attractive offer because coming to me and being like, I don't know what I want, but I miss you is like the ickiest thing I've ever heard. Like, so go figure out what you want. Yeah. And then if you like come back to me and you say X, Y, Z, I can then choose, do I trust and want you in my life again?
I agree. That was very good. Good job.
Okay, tried to stop drinking, but I can never say no to shots when I'm out. I actually hate drinking. I don't like. Recently, I have not been drinking when I've been going out. I think like you just have to, like last night they were all doing shots. Sometimes I'll let them hand it to me and I'll just whatever. But I just set it down. Like I'm just like I don't care. No one can peer pressure me and be like.
No, but this person obviously can be peer pressured and like
right because they can't.
It's no. So I think, and this is gonna sound like sad and depressing and whatever, but I think you need to cut out going out until you have a more healthy relationship with your alcohol consumption.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Which is gonna be hard, right?
Right.
But if it's like when you're out, you already said you can't say no to shots.
Yeah.
So what's the variable there?
The way you
Is
just
going
said-
out.
Yeah. Exactly.
Find fun ways to hang out with your friends that don't involve going out.
Mhm.
Reel it in. Realize that you don't need alcohol to have
Yeah.
fun, and
Yeah.
then you can start re-entering like the nightlife social scene
Mhm.
without drinking.
I
as
also
much.
think like your friends play a huge role in that too. Not like it's on them. I think a lot of that is on you, like 199% of that. But also,
Communicate your
yeah, like
goal
tell
with
your
them.
exactly, tell
Yeah.
your friends and surround yourself with the right people who aren't gonna peer pressure you or be like you have to take this shot. Like you guys don't care if I'm drinking or not drinking. Nobody cares. They want me
Yeah.
there. Like and I'm there and I'm happy. I'm not bringing down the vibes.
Yeah.
And I think like a big thing is just having something in my hand. Like I'll have like a seltzer with like lime or water and no one will ask. Anyways, they'll think it's tequila soda.
My friend
So-
gave up drinking for like a really long time, and he
Uh-huh.
used to have mocktails. I used to make fun of
Yeah.
him because I was like, it's still $15.
had a mocktail with your sister on Rhode Island. It was great.
But you know what I mean? It gives
Yeah.
you that like
it just gives
half
you
the time,
something.
like I don't even want to get more drunk,
Placebo.
but I'm just bored and I just
Yeah.
want to like,
Exactly.
you know,
Yeah. So figure out your stuff and then, talk to your friends. But I think the more you say no, the more you'll get comfortable with it. How do men feel about women having masculine or boss babe energy? First of all, boss babe energy
is not
not
masculine. Yeah.
It's just boss babe energy. But I get what she's saying because I guess it's
I mean, that's just like that's
how
just
do you
like
feel about a girl who's like
I
boss babe, like me?
when someone says like boss bitch or she's got boss babe energy or
Yeah.
whatever, like that to me is like confidence, maybe a career drive, something like that, like someone who like takes control of the situation. Masculine energy in a girl is a different thing. I'm personally not attracted to that, but I think that's going down the route of like sexual preference, and like I don't want to say that that's a bad thing because you know what I mean. Like if someone, you can be a perfectly straight woman with masculine energy.
Wait, so what is masculine energy to you? Like, do you think I have masculine energy?
No. The fuck?
Oh,
What?
Because I would say I do.
What?
I think like
See, this is why it's such like a hairy question
Yeah.
because like what does that mean? I don't think it's like a fair question to say. Do guys think
Right,
masculine energy? Like
right.
it's like that's a sexual.
again, this is just your opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. I try not to carry my masculine energy
I don't
into
think you have
dating,
masculine
but
energy.
like I think in like as my general personality, a masculine trait would be to like you go after things that you want. You're a leader. You're the type to take charge. And that's what I have to do in like my career, kind of like I just have to take charge. I'm a leader. I like the type when I'm with my friends, with my girlfriends, I'm the one ordering for the table. If they need help for something, like I'm doing something, like I'm kind of like
Yeah, I don't.
take on that role.
That's to me more like boss babe energy.
Right.
Like
Oh, okay.
masculine energy is different.
It's-
I feel
so
like
what's masculine energy?
I don't, like the way that you like carry yourself.
Okay.
Like the way that you dress. Maybe I'm 5'7". That's on the shorter end of guys. Like I don't feel comfortable like dating a girl who's much taller than me. If
That's
if
not
at
masculine energy. That's just a tall girl.
all. I didn't say it was.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying like I don't want to feel like the masculine energy would be like feeling littler than the girl I'm with. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like
okay.
that energy because of
Yeah.
the taller than
Yeah.
I'm like
yeah. Like, I don't know. I think a guy who's secure in himself and like what he has to, I guess, offer. I hate saying that, like, but like his career and who he is as a person, I don't think is gonna ever feel threatened by a woman who's successful or
Yes. Oh, so she's not
decisive.
talking sexually.
No,
She's just
I don't
saying
know why
like
you thought that.
I don't because that's the way
no,
that I took
think
it.
like boss babe energy is just like a girl who's like successful.
Yeah.
And has a career and is independent, and it's like that could be a turnoff for some guys. Some guys, and which is
Oh
you know,
yeah, I
everybody
mean, but
has
that's what I'm.
different
That is a
preferences.
turn off. Is a sexual thing. Like it affects your ability to be attracted
right.
to
And I
that
think
person.
yeah, and I just think
I mean,
that-
I would love if by the time I'm like 45, if like my wife was like a multi-millionaire at her job, like it's stay at home dad time. Like I'm chilling with
he's
that.
secure in himself.
I'm chilling with that
yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that is unattractive to me.
There you go.
I never want a guy to be like, "You got it, babe." I'm like, "No, I'm gonna make."
Well,
money,
if
but
she's,
you-"
I mean, I could also do it too. but, like-
Uh-huh. Mhm.
You know what I mean?
You were so quick to stay at home. You were too quick to stay at home. How to get more comfortable in your girl era after a toxic relationship? Well,
What's a girl era? Were you a man earlier today? Like, what does that mean?
I don't know what a girl era is.
Okay, so then we have to skip the question.
Yeah,
we need to define terms. We need a glossary.
I will just say, like, I think after a toxic relationship, you kind of lose who you are a little bit. That person who was toxic towards you may have stripped like a personality away from you, or made you feel like not independent or not yourself. That's how I felt when I was in a relationship, like where someone was manipulative, and it was really hard for me to like lean into like feeling like just like a girl again, I guess, where it's like I want to like get ready and go out and hang out with my friends and like be all girly and cute and like aesthetic. You just have to find yourself again and start putting yourself first. How does one know if they're ready to date? I keep going back and forth on whether or not I am. It sounds like maybe she had a breakup, I would assume.
Okay.
I think for me, like, there's never going to be a point where you're like, oh, I'm 100% healed. I'm so ready to take on a relationship. I think, like, healing is really important, and taking that time if you're going through a breakup or whatever it is to, like, figure out what you want and, like, figure out who you are again. When you start dating is when you start to learn about what you want more and, like, learn about yourself and learn, like, okay, what about this, like, if you're dating somebody and they're triggering you or they're, you know, opening some old wounds, it's like, okay, looks like there's some more healing to be done there, but it doesn't mean that I'm not ready to date, or it doesn't mean that I am like not worthy of dating, or finding somebody who would be, you know, okay with handling a little bit of my baggage, because at the end of the day we all have baggage.
I don't. I have none.
Zero baggage over here.
If you can picture yourself going on a date with anybody, like a faceless, like not anyone in particular, I keep hitting this microphone, and it gets you even a little bit excited and not like something like, oh God, I have to go get ready, or if you can picture yourself in that situation and it's like, oh, wow, yeah, I would like to dress up and I would like, then you're ready. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to like go into that knowing that like, you know, you might have an emotional issue with finding a connection with somebody after what happened. For me right now, like the idea of like trying to get to know someone new, like in the middle of like me doing a career change, you know, like it's on season in Miami, so like everyone's down here and it's like a lot of
not it being on season.
No, it is like it's like a lot of like people are.
He's like, there's visitors, there's people.
I'm talking about me now. This is not advice time yet. This is just so for me, like that is not something I want to do right now. It doesn't get me excited. Like trying to meet even making like a new friend is like stressful to me right now. Like I'm just like,
you have enough friends.
Yeah. But you know what I'm trying to say? Like once you get excited about it, then I think that's the time.
Yeah.
You don't need to be 100% ready to be ready to date.
Never.
You don't need to be 100% ready for a relationship to be ready to date.
How to get over things from the past when trying to work things out with an ex?
I'm assuming they mean like problems in the past, like issues that you've dealt with. I think it's really important that like you have to be on the same page about how you're addressing an issue. Like let's think of an issue. Cheating is like the easiest one. Let's say you guys are both like, you know, I believe that there is a future for a relationship after cheating if we can talk about it. If one of you said, you know, we've decided to move on from this and I don't want to talk about it anymore, I want to erase that from our relationship story, and the other one is still like they want to talk about it and make sure that it's at the forefront so that it never happens again, that's going to be an issue. You have to be on the same page about how you're dealing with that issue, right? And I think that's, you have to be in agreement on, you know, whether this is something that we've resolved or it's something that we still need to work on.
If you're sitting here being like, I want to work things out with you, you can't bring old stuff into like trying to like work out the relationship. So I think like address that problem, figure out how we're gonna fix it, and then once we decide, okay, we're moving on from this now, you drop it. Like you absolutely cannot bring that up in 6 months.
If you feel like you have to, you haven't dropped it, and you probably shouldn't be in the relationship still because it hasn't fixed itself.
Right.
You know?
Right.
You still carry resentment, and that's so much easier said than done. Like,
no,
I
it
acknowledge
is.
that. Coming back from like a breakup or like a gap in the relationship, that's hard work. It's not starting a new relationship. It's trying to fix something that at one point was broken. So you both have to like buckle up
for the ride. Could you be around your boyfriend's ex if she was in the friend group? Only because of him though. It sucks because she's ignores me, has been disrespectful, and his friends don't care.
Who's hotter, you or the ex?
Obviously she is. I'm trying to think
tough.
like my boyfriend's ex in the friend group.
I wouldn't love that.
I wouldn't want to like be hanging out with this person all the time. It's uncomfortable. If she's ignoring her, being disrespectful, all this stuff, he needs to say something to her. Or just stop hanging out with them.
Yeah.
That's on him. Best way to move on after a guy you thought was interested in you, but then called you a friend.
Let me speak to you about that.
That's really funny. How do you recover from that? Like, oh, I like this person. They called me a friend. But I call people friends. If a guy called me his friend, I'd be like, oh, we're friends. That'd make me feel good.
No, he meant it like that. He meant it like friend. This is what this
is. Being delusional.
This is the delusion. She's like, oh, nice. You're supposed to date your best friend.
Yes,
she's like,
exactly.
He said it. It's really important to like, you owe it to yourself to be like, listen, you know, I don't want to put you on the spot, but you said I'm your friend. Like, I feel about you in this way. Like, is that weird? Is that a problem?
Yeah.
Do you feel the same way? If not, like, we can still be, but you won't be able to be friends with that person and move on like it's normal if like you've already like heard that from him and now it's in the back of your mind like, oh shit, like it's just gonna make it weird. Like you have to, there's possibility that you can be friends without being in love if you detach that part from your mind. Right. But you have to define it with that person. Yes. You have to talk about it.
Yeah. That's hard for people to do.
I know.
That is really hard. That would be hard for me. I'd be like,
that's awkward.
I would die a little bit inside if I was really interested in a guy. And then he was like, oh, like, this is my friend.
Like, it's like a 15-minute conversation versus, like, months or years of, like,
you're so
mental torture for yourself. Like,
you compartmentalize and you figure out, you know, whatever. You can take a step back. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Brandon.
This is fun.
Of course.
I, like, loosened up by, like, by the end.
Yeah.
I'm having a blast. Too, so. And I know it's like, I'm dying.
But if you guys want Brandon back on, make sure to like and comment and be like, we want Brandon back.
And if you don't, just don't say anything. Just don't comment at all.
There'll be 0 comment. So imagine. We love you so much. Brandon, tell them you love them.
I love you guys so much.
Okay, bye.
Thanks for joining.